Here's the fullback. He's not, or is he going to get picked up? Diving tackle there by Phil Buckland, but too late, and Vidler has gone in to score for Byron Bay. Try for Byron Bay by Michael Vidler. So first points on the board for Byron Bay, and it's a strange thing. That bit of a run came completely against the run of play. Byron Bay have been battling back in their own quarter for most of the time, and the Mullumbimby defence has been very good, and with just that occasional little chink, and there it happened there. Byron Bay capitalised on it, and there they are with almost a certain 6 points on the board. There's the kick, and it brings it to play.
By Jeff Carlos, successful scores now Byron Bay 6, Mullumbimby 0.
That could have come over loud and clear. 6-0. Wing there by Walsh. Stepped inside, but Mullen was up very quickly to put him down. Kendrick hangs on to Snow. He's not going to get away from there. Peterman marker end. Walsh swings it on to Keevers. Actually lost ground in that. Desmond was in there very quickly. And here's a kick. And there's nobody home back there. He's picked the gap between the winger Leclerc and Thorley. Leclerc has to pick that one up twice. Ludlow in hard but stopped quickly. Right again, dummy half. Peterman, no, it's gone the other way to Desmond. Desmond to Moffat. Moffat slices through a few tackles there, but eventually put down outside their own 22 now. Peterman, Crandall, back to Mann, back to Crichton. Crichton ducks round a few and he's found a gap through there. Mann was trailing him up, looking to support him, but Crichton couldn't get the ball away. Last tackle and Mann kicks, and this looks like a good kick. Is it going? No, it's not. It couldn't be Walsh to the line, but Walsh can't get away from Leclerc either. Devils only 15 metres or so out from their own line now. Snow swings it away. Dropped by the Byron Bay player. This should be a Mullumbimby ball. It is. Peter Mann dived on it. Ludlow, Ryan picked up Crandall. Crandall very hard to put down in that. Back it comes to Ludlow. McDonald in hard again, but he's stopped with 3 or 4 Byron defenders there, and Crichton into dummy half. Crichton takes it, swings it away to Moffat. Ryan, swarm of Red Devils there. Ludlow into dummy half. And Thorley puts it up. And it's coming right down on the... Oh dear, that could have been dangerous. It still is dangerous. Byron Bay have a little bit of room to move. It was so close it could have been a Mullumbimby try, and on the other hand it could have been a Devils try, and I thought that was in order there, and a penalty was going to go to Byron Bay. It has not. It's gone to Mullum, and Keevers not particularly happy about that. And there was a bad blue. Failed to put the ball out. Walsh picked it up again, thrown it back into centre field again. Hooker taking some putting down there too. And there's a punch up in here. And this time the penalty's going to Byron Bay. Byron Bay with the wind behind them in this half. They've got to make the most of that, because there's nothing sure Peter Mann and Rick Thorley are going to be using it in the second half. anxious to get up there, too anxious. Right on halfway he's held. Mullumbimby well inside the 5 this time. Good kick by Taylor there. He's gained quite a lot of ground right on the Mullumbimby. 22 this time is a smart little move there by Byron Bay, resulted in no ground whatever. McDonald's going to have a smack at Taylor, changes his mind when he realises there could be a try going in there, and gets across quickly to blot out the Byron Bay movement. Kendrick under that takes it safely, and he's going to be held, but Mullumbimby have to settle down now and run that ball out from their burden with it. Makes a couple of metres. Crichton. Moffat trying to get round Taylor there, but find his arms are a bit too long and his legs are a bit too long to do so. Leclerc. Back to Colin Ludlow. Crichton again to dummy half. Peter Mann waiting for it. Goes to Desmond. Peter Mann follows him along. Flicks the ball away to Kenny Ryan. Ryan picks up Leclerc, but Leclerc's well covered. Lost the ball backwards. And 5 tackles. He's got to go up this time. Thorley gets clear, puts the boot in too big, and back it goes to where it was kicked. 3 Charlie Dean, they're having a word with Rick Thorley about something. Maybe it's what Thorley said when his kick went out on the full. Good hands there from Burden's got away to Kendrick. Kendrick picks up Phil Buckland, and if he can just get around his man, which he can't, he's out into touch. Minutes of play gone, and Byron Bay still holding their 6-0 lead. Another penalty, and this time to Mullumbimby again. Peter Mann kicks for touch and finds it. Almost to the Byron 22. Crichton gives it to McDonald again. McDonald goes in hard again, but they're waiting for him. Desmond put down by Snow after a little discussion there. Peter Mann swings it wide to Crandall. Crandall cuts out. Ryan gives it to Thorley. Thorley shot it straight to Buckland, but Buckland just didn't have room to move there and was dumped fairly heavily there. Ryan cuts through a few. Byron have to defend now. Crandall. Back it comes to Peter Mann this time, and he's putting it up. It's coming backwards, in fact, and there's trouble here for Mullumbimby. Byron Bay's got a big overlap here. Peter Mann coming along, and he's not going to let any dummies. Kendrick over the top, and Walsh said, "Hey sir, what about that late tackle?" But it wasn't late tackle as far as referee Charlie Dean was concerned. Snow with it now, turns it back into Eager and Eddie Kendrick there, getting a little bit of his own back on Smith. And there's the ball gone loose and snapped up by Kenny Ryan. Some of the Mullumbimby forwards very slow getting back there.
Drop back, buddy. Drop right back, buddy.
Ludlow gives everybody time to get back into position, and now Crichton to Mann to Crandall. Crandall looked to get it to Moffat. Snow was watching Moffat. He knew he was suspected that he might have been a danger man there, which he probably would have been if he got a yard to move, but not to be. Crichton to Kendrick to Mann to Moffat. Moffat puts a little kick in. And Moffat shouldered a Byron Bay player out of the road there, and Charlie Dean picked that up pretty smartly, and a penalty to Byron Bay from the halfway line. Jeff Taylor to take this kick. He changed his mind about kicking into the wind, and he's going to the other side of the field. Burden waiting for it, but it was a good enough kick with the breeze assistance, and Mullum now back into their own quarter. Eager with the ball. King was looking for it there. I think Eager knew that he was going to run into a nest of hornets if he gave it to him, and he took the tackle himself. Snow with it now. A little bit of a brush up between Walsh and Ryan there when Ryan moved in to tackle the man before he got the ball. Vidler held, almost got the ball away to Walsh. Unmarked. The man says play on. It looked to me as if he was unmarked, and he was tackled by Eddie Kendrick there, who I think could have been ruled offside. And there's the ball gone loose, and Charlie said we'll have a scrum for this one. And there's the linesman going in. Bob Grain coming to report something. Linesman in from both sides, in fact. This will be interesting. Calling out Burden. Walsh is there. King is there. And Talbot was another Byron Bay player spoken to. But Charlie's probably decided 6-1, half a dozen of the other, and it's scrum play, it goes down. Mann puts it in, and Mann takes it out, and he's made a break. And picks up Leclerc there. Leclerc looking for somebody outside him. Eddie Kendrick was just too far back for him to throw the ball away, but it's Mullum still on the attack now. Byron Bay struggling to get onside. Desmond with it now. Gets it away to Burden. Burden switches direction back into midfield, gets it away to Peter Mann with it again now, and Leclerc anxious to get into the thick of it there. It looks as if possibly Leclerc and Kendrick have swapped places in wings and centres. Moffat. Desmond flicks it away to Ryan. Ryan gets it away to Leclerc, who juggles it, but he's stood in the tackle and got it away to Crichton. Crichton to Desmond. Desmond charges straight through. Good tackle by Byron Bay there. Stopped the try, certain try. Kendrick with the ball now. Puts a little kick up. Gilchrist was fortunate to take that one as cleanly as he did, but he's been run out over the dead ball line, and that will be a goal line dropout. No shortage of kickers in this side. There's Peter Mann himself, Thorley, Kendrick, all players, even Moffat. There's at least 4 players there that can use that ball off their boot. There's a mistake by Phil Buckland. He's stood back and waited for that, and there's the result. It's scrum packing down exactly on the halfway line, in fact. Bay put it in, Mullum take it out. Peter Mann plays it back to Phil Buckland, going to have a run. A few metres back into the Byron Bay territory now, and it's Crichton to Desmond. Gets Ryan. Ryan had nobody out here to get the ball away to, and he goes down with the ball, made no ground at all. Crichton to Ludlow. Crichton to take it again to Mann. Way to Moffat. To Crandall. Crandall still has the ball. Thorley overran him there. He's elected to turn it back inside. Mullum still on the attack. Mann. Kendrick holds the pass for a second and gets it away to Ryan, who's got his head snapped back in a fairly high tackle. And Mullumbimby player down there as Byron Bay run the ball down. That's Eddie Kendrick there, and touch judge in again. I missed what happened there. Peter McDonald's there, and I think he's going to be reported. And Kendrick's still on the ground over there and being attended to by the strapper and ambulance man Smith as Charlie Deem awards this penalty to Byron Bay. Good kick again by Jeffrey Taylor. There you go, taps it. Gives it to Walsh, and Walsh just stands there and watches a couple run around him, and then it was too late. Mullum defence was all over him. That's Bert King with the ball now. Attempted to get away, and he got away all right, but he got it into Mullum's hands, and the knock-on was ruled. Actually, it could have gone the other way. Crichton dived for it, got his hands on it and missed it, and Crandall picked it up an offside position, and we may have been a little bit lucky there that the referees ruled that it was a knock-on. Man snaps it up and lost it. Walsh was in there very quickly to pick it up. Hawkes plays it back to Smith. Smith runs straight into McDonald and Crichton. Comes to Walsh. Strong goes down with the ball, and he's only about 15 metres, less than 15 metres from Mullum now, as the full-back Fiddler picks it up and goes for a run. Last tackle. And what will they do? They'll kick a little grubber kick. Thorley chasing it back. He doesn't have to worry about it. It's gone into touch, and Mullum will get this ball back on their own 22. Crichton coming up to take the tap. Gives it to Desmond. Picks up McDonald. McDonald into some heavy defence and had the ball ripped off him there. I thought it was Eager coming up with the ball. McDonald's been hurt in that. He's holding his shoulder, and he looks as if he is. Byron Bay won the scrum without McDonald packed in there, and it looks as if McDonald might not be going to continue. Walsh almost put that one down. Crandall almost got penalised too for giving a bloke a little bit of a tickle there without the ball. There's Eager again, almost through, gave it away to Kenny Ryan, who said thank you very much, and he's just had to run around a little bit, otherwise he would have left the Byron Bay defence in tatters, and here's a penalty to Mullumbimby. The Byron Bay Red Devils are all inside the 5. McDonald still receiving attention as Phil Buckland takes it up. Crichton into dummy half again. McDonald swinging his shoulder around and looks as if he's going to stay on the field. Crandall with a good run to take it into the Byron Bay half. Crichton to Mann. And there's a little kick from Thorley, and he's picked up the winger over there who got a lovely bounce for it and put down very heavily there. I thought the penalty will come now. It's going to be against Thorley and Kendrick. Jeffrey Taylor are going to put it out just a metre or two inside of Mullum's half. King running into a bit of heavy defence there. Smith plays it on his hands and knees. Here comes the kick from Walsh. Now he shaped the kick and decided to run instead. He's made some ground before he got away to Gilchrist. Gilchrist got it away to, I think it was Armstrong there, but he was immediately ankle tapped by Desmond, and Byron Bay actually going backwards at the moment. There's the kick from Walsh. Pick the open spaces again, and Walsh is there and he's still kicking it. If he can only pick it up, he's tackled without the ball there now, and this could be interesting. Charlie Deem says knock on. It could easily have been a penalty, and it would have been a handy spot there right in front of the Mullum post, and only about 15 metres out. Player down there now is, I believe it might be McDonald again. Byron Bay player 2 on his knees. No, it's not McDonald. There's another Mullum player receiving attention there. McDonald standing back, swinging his arm that was injured there a little while ago, and I just can't pick up who that injured player is. Getting back, Colin Ludlow it is, number 11, back on his feet and packing back into the scrum again in the second row. Desmond moved up to prop. Coming out Byron Bay's way again. Walsh takes it away fairly smartly. Wrapped up by Crandall, and a bit of assistance from Ludlow, and Byron Bay swing it wide. Here's Vidler again, comes through very quickly, and he's still on his feet, got out of 2 tackles there, and he must be within just 4 or 5 metres. And that's going to be very close to a try. Defence swarmed in everywhere there, but there was a gap when Eddie Kendrick slipped. I think it was Eddie Kendrick slipped there and going in for a tackle, and it looked as if there was going to be a big hole there. Mullum coming up with the ball. Ken Ryan to play it for Mullum. Crandall to Crichton. Crichton steps around a couple. Throws it to... it was intended to go to Moffat, and Moffat was barrelled by, I believe it was Taylor, and the referee said, well, that's tough luck, we'll play on. Crichton to Crandall, to Peter Mann, Burden. Devils going for an intercept there now, it's out to Kendrick, but Kendrick thrown into touch. Touch judge has gone in again to report Talbot was one of the players that was spoken to before, along with several other players, and the scrum was allowed to go on. This is his second word he's had with the ref, and there's 10 minutes for him. Very popular result with the Mullum spectators. Having it again, Byron Bay feeds, up to Byron Bay again. This time it plays on, Man's there like a flash. Armstrong hesitated for a minute and found there was blue and gold everywhere. Puts it back to Snow, and Snow puts it in the air. Thorley came in there and took it beautifully, and he's immediately wrapped up by Snow and Vidler and another player there. That was the winger Walsh. Elbow in the back there, which didn't seem to bother anybody. Ludlow to play it back to Crichton, to Mann, Moffat, to Crandall, to Kendrick. It's unloaded to Burden. Burden's got a little bit of move and he's got a bit of speed too, and there's the winger outside. If Buckland can hold it, this will be a try and it'll be close to the post. No, Buckland was happy to take his try. Vidler had him cut off, but it's only about halfway between the touchline and the goal posts, and again we've got heaps of kickers. Who's going to kick? Thorley's coming in, I would say. Kendrick's also a kicker. Peter Mann is too, for that matter. So we've got Thorley's going to take this shot at goal from maybe a little bit further away than I thought it was. It's looks as if it might be only about 12 metres in from the eastern touchline. 4 at half time. There's nothing much in this game. Territorial, Mullumbimby have had the best of it, but Byron Bay have scored their try right against the run of play early in the piece after about 15 minutes of play, and Mullumbimby have just managed to come back with that try just before half time, so it's off, and ball kicked into play by Taylor. Goes straight into the hands of Desmond. There doesn't appear to be any replacements on either side, although Mullum have a pretty impressive lineup of reserves there when they're required. Crichton with the ball now. Running across field, sends it back to Ryan and straightens it up to Kendrick. Burden, Buckland inside, takes it, juggles it. He's gone, he's in. Beautiful step there around the fullback, and Vidler scratching his head there, and well, he might scratch his head. He was caught completely wrong-footed there by Buckland, and Buckland made it look simple after juggling it, of course, and that move started back here when Crichton ran across field, got it away to Ryan. Ryan started to straighten it up, found Burden outside there. Burden made a good run and judged his pass well to Buckland, and Buckland did the rest. Thorley's not going to have a very easy kick at this one. The only thing in his favour is that the breeze is with him this time, and he's taking this kick from 10 metres in and 23 metres out. Moves in, hits it well. Oh, it's there.
Conversion of 10 successful. Scores now Mullumbimby 10, Byron Bay 6.
The breeze was right behind that ball, and it just kept it on course just inside the post. So Mullumbimby have taken the lead thanks to those 2 tries by Phil Buckland, and now lead 10 points to 6. Going straight into the hands of Peter Mann, and he's going to put it straight down the paddock, and this is going to be the pattern for this half. I feel there's still enough breeze there to be useful, and with so many kickers in the side, I think Peter Mann's going to use them. A couple of dummies brought there off Smith, almost allowed him through, but a knock on, and no, it wasn't. The ball finished up in possession of McDonald, and Leclerc's had the ball jarred out of his hand now, and it's going to be Peter Snow playing it for Byron Bay, 4 metres inside the Byron Bay half. It's out of the half now, well and truly. Just an ankle tap, and there's the winger almost. It was Walsh that was in the clear almost, and he tried to cut back inside, and he was quickly smothered there, and from the play the ball, Mullums kicked it out, and the scrum to pack down. Good run there by the Bay. Scrum on the 22's put in by the Bay, taken out by the Bay, and Ryan it is to wrap up Keever's Snow with it. Threw it to nobody. It was picked up by eventually by the Byron Bay winger Gilchrist, but ruled knocked on and scrum to pack down just about on the 22 again. Mann puts it in. Mann takes it out, round the scrum he goes, gets away from 1, 2, gets the ball away to Moffat. Moffat to Burden. Burden back inside to Moffat, who turned back in but slipped, lost his footing there, and Leclerc was trailing him up, and could have been very interesting if he'd got away. Out it comes to the other wing this time. There's an overlap here. It's cutting off quickly. Crandall throws it back inside to Crichton. Crichton to Desmond. Desmond gets it away to Ryan. Ryan almost through and gets it back into Thorley. Thorley held it a second too long, and he's going to be wrapped up and lost the ball. In fact, Byron Bay coming up with it through Eager, and they're going to run it back out now. Thankfully for Mullum, knocked on over on that corner, and Byron Bay had plenty of room to move over there if they'd just taken a clean pass and stepped it out. That's a little bit of good work come to nothing there, but still it's definitely Mullum having the better of the game at this stage. Ball thrown to nobody. Leclerc chased it, dropped it, picked it up, went behind. Thorley sends it to Moffat, quick ends to Ryan. Ryan got through several. He's left 2 on the ground behind him there and made about 15 metres. Desmond going hard and straight. Ludlow up in support, but Desmond's happy to take the tackle, and I don't know whether that was an accidental or a deliberate tread there as Crichton throws the ball away to Byron Bay, and Byron Bay on their 22 and got to get it out from there. Plenty of defence. Mullumbimby all offside. Goes unnoticed. And scrum packing down 25 metres out from the Bay line. It's coming out to Byron Bay. Mann's wrapped him up. He's knocked it on, and we're going to have a scrum in the same spot. He can't linger around too long picking the ball up when he's got to get away from Peter Mann. And this is a Mullum feed. Somebody just had to remind them, I think. Mann puts it in and comes straight back out again, so we're going to have it again. Back on the field again we have Talbot, who was sent for 10 minutes early in the piece. Vidler juggles that ball round. He picked it up 2 or 3 times, and Charlie said that will do us for a knock-on. We'll pack a scrum down here right in front of the Byron Bay post. Man to feed. Man puts it in, but it's coming out to the bay. Keevers couldn't pick it up, but Peter Snow has it. Keevers now away to Vidler. Vidler hasn't got a bad step either, but he's too many blue and golds there for him. Good defence. There's the ball gone loose, and it's coming up with Moffat. With Leclerc, rather. And he's made a lot of ground. He's almost back to the Byron 22 now, and Mullumbimby have just got to get organised. McDonald and Ludlow coming off, being replaced by Graham Smith and Tom Marr. So not going to lose any firepower there. Marr with it now. Smith will be looking for a run bright and early too. But it comes to Thorley. Thorley with a little grubber kick, and he's picked it up and he's got through him. He's gone, he's in. It looked as if Thorley might have done the wrong thing. It looked as if it wasn't a good kick, but there it is, the try. Thorley's found himself a little easier spot to kick from this time, and he's going to be about 4 or 5 metres closer than last kick. So judging by that one, the breeze getting stronger now, but still behind him, so this should be another 2 points from Mullumbimby. Thorley lines this up right on the 22. Moves in, and it's right between the uprights and stone.
Quick Thorley converts his own try. Scores now Mullumbimby 16, Byron Bay 6.
16-6 isn't a bad lead, and with the fresh replacements on there, they could add a little bit more fire to it in the middle, and there's certainly some openings out wide when they want to use them. Taylor restarts it along the ground. Nobody wants to pick it up. Finally, Smith got a reasonable sort of bounce to scoop it up. Plays it back to Crandall. To Tommy Marr. Runs in hard. Doesn't want to be tackled, and he makes about 5 metres out of that. And the ball's raked away from him as he plays it. Taylor. Byron Bay attacking now as though they mean business. Keevers dummies and goes himself. And he's still going. Smith puts him down. Got back all that ground they'd just lost. Crossfield comes Smith. Couldn't get it away though. The ball's gone loose. I think Peter Mann's going to come up with it. Nope. It did look as Smith looked as if he was going to dive for the ball, and Peter Mann dived in, and it looked as if Peter Mann was coming up with the ball, but not so. Byron Bay player, ball carrier down, injured there now. I think his problem is just that he fell on that ball and he's winded. The lead of 10 points at this stage, and about 15 minutes of the second half gone. It could be a pretty good lead. Defence has been pretty good from Mullumbimby, except for that odd chink early in the second half when they Byron Bay capitalised on it to get their 6 points on the board, but they're down on the Mullumbimby 22 again now, but they're going to find it hard from there. Keevers gets it away to Taylor, drops it immediately, and he wasn't going anywhere. Smith and Maher and Crichton were right there, and I think he was watching them coming instead of watching the ball. Man to feed. Come out to the Byron way again. Here's trouble. It was trouble. Talbot threw there fairly smartly, but wrapped up quickly by Thorley round the ankles. He didn't have a chance to get that away. Snow standing in the tackle and trying to get the ball away. Finally put to ground. Only about 5 metres out now. Smith had a good run but went sideways. Keevers tried the dummy but nobody's buying it. And that was knocked on. Unseen backwards, said referee Dean. Snow with it. Oh, that was a shepherd, but it's all right. No, is it? Yep, we're just having the changeover. That was about as good a shepherd as you'd see anywhere. Thorley's on the ground there along with one of the Byron Bay players. Crichton tries to run the ball away from Mullumbimby. Tommy Maher in at dummy half this time and gives it to Smith. Smith sends it back to Maher. Crichton to Desmond. Desmond brushes a couple aside, and that's a bit of good ground. That's a bit of valuable ground because they were too close to their own line and going nowhere there for a couple of tackles. Smith. Oh, here's an intercept by Taylor, and Taylor turned it back inside to... it appeared as if it might have been knocked on, but it's going through 3 or 4 pairs of hands there. Keevers finally with it and wrapped up, and Smith down, injured out of that... Byron Bay really putting the pressure on Mullumbimby now. It's Armstrong to play it. Comes to Hawkes, swings it to Keevers. They're well aware that they've got to watch Keevers, and there was a little punch went in there. Rather fancy from Kendrick, it might not have been, but referee Dean said wasn't worried about it. This is their last tackle. Grant O'Donnell warming up to go on the field. And this is a penalty to Byron Bay right in front of the posts, and it's well, certainly wasn't needed there because the changeover was coming, and they're going to 16-6. They're going to go for 6 points. They don't want 2 at this stage. Smith's back on his feet again, hopping around, and he's going to stay on the field. Grant O'Donnell may be going to replace more. Taylor's almost through. Got the ball away, and Gilchrist is in, I feel. That'll do me for a try, said Charlie Dean, and Phil Buckland.
Try for Byron Bay by Gilchrist.
Phil Buckland and Graham Smith sort of come together fairly heavily in that tackle. Getting up very slowly. And Kendrick being called out now. He's probably... this probably goes back, it's the touch judge reported it, and it probably goes back to that play in front of the posts when Kendrick would probably say he was just trying to knock the ball out of the ball carrier's hands, and Charlie Deem has given him a little bit of a lecture, and play on this Byron Bay kicker. Taylor hasn't got a very easy It's not a difficult kick as far as distance goes, but he's going to have the breeze taking it right away, so unless the breeze drops off, it is going to be a difficult kick. It came round with the breeze and it was going to be a good kick, except that it didn't have the distance.
Successful there. Scores now Byron Bay 10, Mullumbimby 16.
So now it's only a converted try. Mullumbimby have to come back quickly now. Consolidate their position a little. Defence not going up very quickly, and Byron Bay jogged up to the 22.
Courthouse Hotel in Mullumbimby, there's a big monster barbecue, and there's a tape showing with highlights of the 1982 Kangaroo Tour. Everybody's in, players, supporters, and all Byron Bay people are invited back to just after the game.
The big fella stepping out again. Phil Buckland slipped in the tackle, and here's Thorley. He's got the overlap. Vidler's going to score very close to the post, and things are looking very much different now. Byron Bay got their nails up after that last try, and they made the Mullumbimby defence look very, very.
Byron Bay by Mick Vidler.
Mullumbimby have to do something pretty smartly. They've been looking pretty good, and suddenly 2 tries in a few minutes, and they're looking a little bit tattered. Grant O'Donnell again jogging along. He's going to replace somebody this time, and that's a good kick. And the top scores are
scores now 16 all.
Smith coming off, and Grant O'Donnell on. He restarts play and gives Peter Snow a good bounce, and Peter Snow's bringing it back to the halfway. Found Keevers inside him there, and Keevers is going to be tackled just about half a metre inside the halfway line. There's a Snow with it. Smith. Ball's gone loose. Dived on by Kendrick, and Grant O'Donnell getting a taste of the turf. It wasn't Grant O'Donnell, in fact it was Tommy Marr. Crandall with it now. Makes a few metres. Not marked, he was entitled to tap it forward, and Peter Mann's going to kick himself all over the paddock for that. He had his players lined out there and had to pick who he was going to give it to and everything, and fortunately put it down himself. Paid a feed. Coming out Mullen's way this time, and Peter Mann's going to make amends. Moffat wrapped up fairly smartly. Peter Mann spins it away to Grant O'Donnell playing it back. Desmond gets it to his winger, but has he got room to get around? He wrong-footed him again. He's wrong-footed Vidler again, and he's going to score. Two pretty good hits there by Vidler. Buckland's third try, and he certainly proved himself an asset. on the wing here today, and those deceptive little steps has allowed him to go about 40 metres there to put that try in. Moves into it, hits it well, and it's going to go across the front of the...
Conversion attempt unsuccessful. Scores now Mullumbimby 20, Byron Bay 16.
Mullum have either got to hold out Byron Bay, or else they've got to put more points on the boards themselves. Kicking off, and it wasn't Gilchrist either, it was Talbot, but he looked well down there before he kicked off. I don't know whether he was picking a man to kick it to or not. Byron Bay have the ball back from the kick-off though, and that's penalty. Quick tap and run by the Byron Bay second row there, Smith, and they're right in front of the Mullum post now, and Mullum suddenly got their backs to the wall again. Snow dummies. The ball's going everywhere. It's been knocked on about 6 times, and it's play on. Snow attempting to run from dummy half, but not much room there. Smith, Keevers, handed back to Mullum. Thank you very much, Kev, Crichton said, and Mullum have got to do something now. Peter Marr stood in the tackle, got it away to Peter Mann, and that's a beautiful kick. What a kick. That's would be fully 50 metres he's picked up with that kick, and so from their own 22 or behind their own 22 they go up to the Byron Bay 22, and that's a much better spot to be putting down a scrum as far as Mullumbimby's concerned anyway. Bay to feed. The Bay have been getting their share of the scrums, and they've got this one too, but Charlie Deem says we'll have that one again. Still the Byron Bay scrum win. Snow stands. Thought about it for a second and too long. Keevers got past a Mullum player there, Kenny Ryan I think it is, who's picks himself up off the turf and gets back onside. Peter Snow with it again. Stood in the tackle and got it away. Peter Mann holding his ribs after that tackle by Peter Snow. And here comes the kick. And it's a penalty to Byron Bay, and they're certainly going to put some pressure on themselves now with that penalty. 20 metres or so. So, 22 metres. They've got to run it to tie these scores up. They'll run around move there, and some pretty vigorous defence. Keevers knocked it on, a little bit uncharacteristic of the way he's been playing today, but very fortunate for Mullum. If they can win this scrum, they've got this one going down on their own 22 and right in front of the goalposts, and they desperately need this scrum. Mann puts it in and takes it out, but we're having it again. Only 5 minutes or so to go now. Pressure on, another penalty to Byron Bay. Incorrect feed. So the pressure's going to be right on Mullum. I don't imagine that they're going to kick for a goal here. Nope. Left too eager to take it up. Smith. Plays it while he's laying on the ground, and that's okay too, and now it's the lock forward Armstrong. Still not making any ground, but they haven't got far to go. Vidler with it. Swivels around, gets it away to a big fella behind him there, and Vidler again gets it away to Keevers, and here's a little kick from Snow, and it's well taken there by Thorley. Thorley's broken out of the tackle, He's got the ball away there to Leclerc, and Leclerc's got it fairly safely back to the 22, and a bit of good work there by Rick Thorley. Tommy Marr with it, goes straight into it. Creighton, dummy half, swings it away to Peter Mann. Mann to Ryan to Moffat. Moffat ducks and weaves a little bit, turns it back to Peter Mann, who's put it down again. And it's going to be another penalty to Byron Bay as the player offside, Wayne Moffat, boots that ball away. Peter might be having a few of the boys telling him how to hold onto the ball at training on Tuesday night. Here's Smith looking gap. There didn't seem to be any gap there. He almost created one. And again he plays it off the ground. It's a bit of an expert at that. Not very big for a forward, but he's... and here's Vidler with it now, and his legs cut out from under him very smartly and just as well. Keevers, they've got to tackle him quickly. He's almost through. It's taken four of them to put him down. Lex to run himself, and that must have been very close to a shepherd as he ran back and forth behind the man who played the ball. Snow with it. Throws it back, knocked it on, but he said he didn't knock it on. The changeover, thankfully. Mullum have to run this out very safely. Not going anywhere there. Ball's lost, picked up by Peter Mann and knocked on. Knocked on, said Charlie Deem. He should have seen the one that Byron Bay just put on. Time it's come Mullum's way, and Peter Mann ducks and weaves but can't get around there. Paul Desmond says, give it to me, I'll show you which way to go. Good run. And a couple more like that. Thorley puts the boot to it. And he's found touch with it. It was going to be a knock-on anyway, but he's found touch there. That was a good kick by Thorley. And they just need to win this scrum. It goes, and it's coming Byron's way. It's with Peter Snow. And Grant O'Donnell took him head on and come up with the ball. Moffat to Ryan. Kendrick. Buckland. Buckland bundled into touch a metre or so out. Phil Buckland was almost in for his fourth try there. Great game he's been having this afternoon. Again, it's a Byron Bay scrum win, and Mullum need to hold them here. Burdens, Bulldogs, Smith to the ground. He plays it back to Snow. Snow's still looking for plenty of work. He's seen most of the action, and he's still probably the strongest player on the field out there. Taylor, wrapped up pretty smartly. Here's a little kick with a minute to go, and Leclerc almost slipped as he steadied himself for that catch, just regained his balance in time to take the ball. Back it comes to Peter Mann, dummied it, went himself. He's got no marker, he didn't look at that. Crichton hesitated too long. Thorley was coming through there looking for one more under the post before the end of the game. Moffat to Crandall. Plenty of Byron Bay defence around there. Thorley's going to kick a field goal attempt, and it's a good one.
There's a field goal there to Rick Thorley, bringing the score on the Mullumbimby 21, Byron Bay 16.
And there's a full-time siren for Mullumbimby to run out, winners 21-16. I expected a bigger score than that, but thanks to Phil Buckland, it could have been much worse.